G'day, welcome to the Snowies. I'm at this eastern entrance to the park on the edge of the Jagungal wilderness, and this track here leads into Cesjacks Hut. This locked park entrance gate is accessed by a 10-kilometre fire trail through private land. The hut is about 2 kilometres away along a 4-wheel drive road. This is the Cesjacks Ridge, a high ridge line that runs from here to the Bulls Peaks area along the eastern edge of the park. The vegetation thins out as we approach an open saddle area about halfway to the hut. I haven't been up here before, so it's a tour of discovery. This striking snow gum is in the saddle area. I've reached this open saddle and I might just take a quick detour here. Off to the north, there's some rocks on a small rise. Another ridge line runs north towards Spencer's Peak. Now I was reminded about how rugged the walking can be in the Jagungal wilderness. Oh, it's rougher than I thought. Really clumpy snowgrass. The uneven terrain is very taxing on the feet and ankles, especially over long distances. And these pig digs are not helping. Feral pigs are the bane of the Snowies. They dig up the grasslands searching for roots and tubers. The first rise wasn't as open as I'd hoped, but there was a slightly higher one further on. The next rise gave panoramic views. This is the top. And that would surely be Jagungal. My larger intention was to reach Jagungal from this edge of the park. Looking over to the north here, pretty sure this is Spencer's Peak. If this isn't Spencer's Peak, it'll be the next one along this ridge, but it looked right from the map. This is the ridge that I walked in on. This is the Cesjacks Ridge. I would soon learn that these grassy swathes are a prominent landmark visible from a long way off. And here we can see down to the hut. I could see it by eye, but in this image it is absolutely tiny. Next I went searching for the site of Mole's hut. In this next saddle, Mole's hut used to be here. Can't actually find the site, but there are a few remnants about. Piece of tongue and groove timber. And a water collection device of some kind. Okay, back where I left the saddle, here's the track. A little further on, we can see over to the hut. And there's the hut. Beyond these posts is a right turn to a track that leads there. Then it's a long straight run to the hut. That's the saddle I've just come over from. This is another view of the large grassy swathe that's visible from high points all around the area. And here we have Cesjacks Hut. The door latch is the drawstring and wood lever type typical of bush huts. It's a rustic hut that would provide warmth and shelter in bad weather. The hut has floorboards and this raised section, but a rat came ambling past when I was sitting quietly eating a sandwich later on. These drawstrings above would be useful for hanging food bags out of their reach. There's bush furniture, billies and pots, and also dry firewood in the box on the lower left. This is a memorial to a plane crash that occurred near here. This would be a palace in bad weather. The two fixed windows with their own eaves are unique and give adequate light. They face in an easterly direction. And the fire pit would make a starry night at 1700 metres very agreeable. The dunny is the dry compost style. The drop pit is maintained by the park staff. And just off to the west here, there's this distinctive rock that I've seen in a few videos. This is the area of the low hill, which I would find to be another point of reference in the upcoming days. On my map, this is named Vertical Rock. This is Doubtful Creek. Some interesting cairns up there. And here's a look up to Jagungal. This was my first view of the country that lay between here and Jagungal. In the upcoming days I would learn a lot about the lay of the land and the nuances of the terrain. I didn't know very much about it yet, but speaking now with hindsight, I can point many things out straight away. Firstly, where I'm standing is another part of the huge swathe of grassland that indicates this area from miles away. The low hill is discernible from the right angle as well. In this image taken from Jagungal Mountain, we can see the grassy area. The low hill is down here. So that gives us a visual reference from any high viewpoint, weather permitting. The Cesjacks Ridge is a high ridge, 1700 metres, and it was never hard to get a glimpse of while walking the country between Cesjacks and Jagungal. Another thing worth noting is that the reason the grass swathe stands out is because most of the other landforms aren't very distinct, and they all blend together. Navigationally, this area is very uniform, an endless mixture of snowgrass, heath and snowgums, peppered with occasional rock outcrops. This is a trackless wilderness in every sense of the term, and I found that the regular checking of bearing points was essential for keeping a constant direction. Back here at the low hill, in the next walk I would attempt to take a direct line from here to Jagungal. It didn't work out, I only made it halfway, but I learned what was a good approach, and it's that ridge on the left in the far distance. In this view from closer to the low hill, we can see the ridge further along the valley. I found there to be better passage on the ridges than in the valleys, but I couldn't find any alternative to crossing the swamps around Doubtful Creek to reach the ridge. Looking to the northwest, this prominence is visible as a striking peak from all around Doubtful Creek and indicates the northern reaches of these valleys. The prominence is an easterly offshoot of Farm Ridge, which is the higher ground more to the left. Jacky's lookout is on Farm Ridge and is the highest point this side of Jagungal at 1850 metres. But all that was in the future for me. Anyhow, I came here to learn about this place, and learn about it I did. I've put the knowledge in these 3 Jagungal videos. Okay, I'm back at the hut and heading out. So now I'm heading back to where I've got my tent set up, which is on this side of the park fence, not too far from the car, so that I can get access to the esky and the battery power. That's just as a mark of respect for the people whose land we cross to come in here. And tomorrow I'm thinking of making my way out to Jagungal, and I don't know the route from this approach, so tomorrow will also be a journey of discovery. I'm really looking forward to it. So I guess I'll sign out here then. Adios.